Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all my friends, all our friends out there who are Lakers fast break fans. You are watching the Nightcap with Joe Soro, and I think Gerald's eating birthday cake or something. I don't know what that is.
You know what this is, Joe? Marie Callender's chocolate cream pie. We no longer have it on my side of town. I was on the other side of town in Las Vegas. I had to get some. It's the best.
Yeah, they closed all of them out around here, at least in my area.
There's only two left. I think there's only two left in Las Vegas too, man. Absolutely
Yeah.
sucks because they're good.
Yeah, once they went away from their bread and butter, pardon the pun, they most places they ended up falling because not everybody wants to pay for the other stuff. They want to pay for that stuff, but they don't want to pay for the regular stuff. A lot of memories at Marie Callender's just hanging out with friends back in the day, so it's unfortunate. So,
and the thing is, they can't outside the pies. The only time that they really made a profit, Joe, was that short window during Thanksgiving because they had the Thanksgiving meals. People would line up and still do around the block for it, even around parking lot and all that. But outside of it, they just don't have anything sustainable, and that's like you said, that's what closed them down.
Yeah, you got to be the master of your craft. I think more money and more opportunity obviously kind of rears its head when a business wants to venture out a little bit so they can get the quote unquote general audience. But I think specializing is always my advice to anybody if you can do it, unless you're McDonald's, which if you've read up on McDonald's, their business isn't really selling hamburgers, it's owning real estate. And the hamburger part is just a write-off in the end. But I digress. We are here to talk about NBA basketball, specifically the LA Lakers. And we are going to talk about certain things in the NBA as well, because it's been a really interesting day. There's been some things that have come out since, even since we've posted the Nightcap tonight that are kind of hilarious. There's been a lot of chatter too with certain patrons on the show that are and kind of wonderance in our support of certain players, and I'll get into that a little bit more in more detail.
And I'll be answering some of them from last night's show, and I might be updating people on that as well. Because man, you guys had some comments after the show that are just like, I don't know. I think drugs are really becoming rampant in our society, Joe, because some people were really high when they made them last night. Just say that.
Well, you all know how I feel about drugs, and I know we have some good people on the show that partake in those type of things. At least the normal ones, not the crazy, powdery type stuff. But the thing is, looking at it from a content creator, entertainer, quote unquote, it's not necessarily a bad thing because this is the way of the business. You're going to have certain people interpret what you say just differently. It's just how human beings are. It's why there have been wars and why human beings don't get along. It's always this weird interpretation, weird communication that people will kind of conjure up in their own heads on what we're saying. And then we got to come back out here and say what we said in detail. And then what'll happen is it'll then confuse the other side. So I'll start out the show with that just because I think it's kind of hot and near our minds right now while we're talking. And Jay-Way, I'm going to answer your question in a minute here, but I'm going to finish my little intro here. So we have said on the show that the LeBron support is hot and cold. Hot and cold as in there are those who think we're cold, at least me. And then there are some out there that say we're a little too supportive, which is just hilarious. That one's probably the best one, honestly, out of the ones that maybe get a little bit irritated that we're not supporting. So let me put this in a common sense term. So some of you had the right. Some of you had merit in saying, "Jesus, guys, all you're doing is talking about 11 turnovers. The guy dropped 40 and you won the game. How about you do a little bit more of that?" I'm like, all right, well, at least that makes a little sense. But
how many times did I say the Lakers won the game? The Lakers won the game.
But Yeah, that's why and this is why, see, this is our show, so we can actually go back and control what is said if we needed to. This is why you probably will rarely ever see me do interviews. I don't like interviews from a third party or a second party or a 10th party. It doesn't matter, especially if you're a little bit more opinionated, because what will happen is there's a habit of manipulating that interview and manipulating answers. Imagine we don't even do that here, and people misinterpret what we're saying. So, to explain yesterday's game, when one guy has 11 turnovers, and it doesn't matter if his name is LeBron James, it is a problem, folks, because you're in that predicament. You're in a game that's close because that plays a part in why. And him scoring 40 points is a result. Needing to score 40 points is a result from a little bit of that issue. And I didn't want to have to go into that detail because we're excited. We're happy they won. It was a good game.
Hold on. We're supposed to congratulate him because it's the second, it's the second one ever after the age of 40.
I don't care about that. I don't care. And just because I don't care about it, no, I'm not going to care. I don't care. I don't care if LeBron scores 40 points every game until he retires. I don't care. All I care about is winning the title. Now, the Lakers are not going to always win the title year in and year out, but there's a difference between competing and winning. Competing and winning. Like, it's got to be there, at least competing for that. And they are. I'm not saying they're not right now, but it's just what I'm trying to tell you all is you guys get enamored with numbers. And what happens is you probably start reading things around you, and there's this amazing adulation to it. Oh my God, he's 40 years old. What an amazing feat for a 40-year-old. Okay, I get that. But just because you feel that way doesn't mean I have to feel that way. I'm just saying, I don't care. I don't care about stats. I care about getting number 18 because the Boston Celtics have 18 right now. And we can congratulate LeBron. We can also kind of live in the moment a little bit too. I think that's important as well, to where let's try to enjoy some of the regular season games with these amazing feats. It is. But you guys can't tell me that we cannot, like, we're not doing a truthful service to the fact that one player had 11 turnovers, and a lot of those turnovers, guys, are ill-advised. He doesn't have to they're not forced. So
he'll tell you, Joe, if you went and walked up to LeBron right now, he would tell you that's too much.
If you're gonna give praise, you also got to give the negative too, if it's there. Now, if LeBron had 40 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists, and 2 turnovers, there's not even a discussion at that point. But 11 is a lot, and 11 played a part in why the game was close. And I know LeBron is kind of playing by himself, and no one is, Austin helped obviously too. I know there's not a lot of, I guess, spread out talent on this team, but at the end of the day, guys, that's what happens in the NBA. The majority of the money is allocated to LeBron. It's allocated to the second best or the 1A of the team. That's how it is, and this is where you are. This is a result, guys. You have to look at the cause and effect of this. I'm not saying you need to go take a pay cut, but this is the reality of it. If you are going to make $50 million and then your partner next that's supposed to be your 1A is making another $50 million, folks, what is the salary cap? 179? You have to field almost 15 players a game. And really, 5 of those guys don't really play. Hell, even 6, 7 really sometimes don't play. So now you're allocating all that money to really 8 people. And almost half of them don't play, really. And then 2 of those guys out of the other half are making the majority of the money, and they're the most talented guys. So the pressure is going to be on those guys. If the Lakers spread out the $50 million to 25, 25, 25, 25, then you'd probably hear us talk about the fact that maybe two of the four aren't pulling the weight more than you'd be hearing about 11 turnovers or whatever. And I don't even know if this is even going to matter saying this. I don't know. It probably won't. But it's a discussion that I think in the end we're in that middle part, which is actually where we want to be. There are those who swear that we don't like LeBron, and there are those who swear that we talk too highly of him. Okay, good. We'll leave it at that. I saw Empire. Where's Empire Jeff? What did he say?
He's in there.
He usually drops a message and then goes off into the sunset.
I guess they asked him about his channel. He says he's going to go getting again soon. And then
getting again soon. Got to get it going again soon. Yeah, he's seems to be burning the candle on both ends there. Empire, you building your empire there, Jeff?
He's making dollar, Joe. He's making some money.
Aren't we all?
Didn't he say that when he's got a way, he's got priorities. So shout out to him.
We'll talk about that later.
No joker. Why? I mean, when 17 turnovers comes from LeBron and AR. I mean, that's.
I think the point is forget about the 11 turnovers. Forget about yesterday's game.
Well, hold on. The average for the LA Lakers is about 14. Just to give everybody an idea.
Okay, let's look at that for a second, and then I'm going to go on to the next thing because I'm not going to spend an hour or two talking about the same subject that I know we're going to have to continue to deal with no matter what. So the average turnovers for the Lakers is 14 a game. LeBron had almost the same amount just by himself, and as the leader, as a guy that impacts the game as much as he does, as much as the industry tells us he's a genius on the court, that can't happen, guys. That can't happen, especially against somebody like Portland. If you're getting destroyed by the 04 Piston defense or the 08 Celtics defense, that's another thing. And he's trying to make plays. But this was a lot of lazy stuff. There's a lot of lazy turnovers, and we're not gonna sit back and say, oh, well, because he scored so many points and they won the game, that we're not going to, look at that because that plays a part in it. So anyways, next subject. We were supposed to talk about this last night and we ran out of time.
2 hours.
Yeah, we ran out of time because we can get into the zone sometimes on things, but I did want to talk about this, as soon as we could. The injury with Victor Wembanyama.
Yes.
And
a deep thrombosis.
Yeah. So I want to know something here. What is going on in the NBA? I want to know what's going on. If it's not one thing, it's something else. Why are NBA players disintegrating? This guy's not 40 years old. This guy's not 38 years old. This guy's fresh out.
21.
And this is a guy that watches his diet. This is someone who does all the necessary recovery exercises. He's not a weightlifter. I mean, at least not heavy anyways. He's into stretching. He's into that elongating stretch stuff that Kareem used to do, which he attributed to his career being long because of it. What is the deal? What is going on? All of a sudden now we come out with this blood clot. And there are a lot of reasons why he would get this. So what's your, I mean, what am I supposed to think here now? It's called what? The vein thrombosis? Is this the same thing that Chris Bosh had?
It's the same thing that no, Chris Bosh's was a not.
Oh no, wait! It was the same one that Brandon Ingram had.
Brandon Ingram, yes, but he came back the next season. But Brandon Ingram, the thing is with this one, it's a localized area. With Bosh, it was more spread out over a wider area. So that's what kept him out for good, Joe, is because he would continually be on blood thinners. He would continually be on supportive medicine and whatnot that, obviously would preclude him from any type of physical activity because he had so many, issues with it outside of just one localized area. I think is probably the best way I could say it.
So I started looking at causes of this thing. There's a list, and I'm not a doctor, and I know every time you look online, anytime you have a pimple on your head, you'll look into it, and all of a sudden you have every disease on the planet. But looking at some of the causes of this, I'm gonna start with the stuff that he doesn't do. One cause might be smoking. I've heard that he doesn't smoke, at least not publicly, anyways. Did he have heart problems or any kind of cancers? I haven't heard anything that he's had there. Did he take certain medications, hormone replacement type stuff? I'm going to take a guess that the NBA would have caught him doing that, right? I don't know. Maybe not. Immobility. That's obviously one that he's not doing because he's a basketball player in the NBA. An injury that he might have had that we didn't know about. And I guess maybe not. I haven't heard anything though. So I just named off 5 things that would cause this. Now there's 2 that I'm leaving last here to kind of get maybe a better answer from everyone because I'm kind of curious. The other one is something that sometimes you can't control because for example, my sister has high cholesterol, and it doesn't matter what she does; it's always high. She got that from my mom. My mom used to have that problem. I can eat lards of butter and God knows what, and my cholesterol doesn't go over 200. Right? See that's the unfair part of life, right? So hereditarily, I didn't get that. I got my dad's side of things. Last one is autoimmune disorders. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist on this discussion here, but I'm curious. I've been hearing the word autoimmune a lot lately. What is going on? What are people? Why do we keep having these issues with a lot of people in general? And is it that? Was it something that he took that helped maybe increase this issue? Because I don't know. I'm just confused on how someone that's so tapped in and so healthy, and it's 2025. We have all this medical advancements and all these nutritionists. It seems like the more we got known about how to take care of our bodies, the softer and weaker we got. So I don't know how to describe it. Or maybe I'm thinking about maybe I'm not paying attention to what might have been back in the day because our information now is much bigger and quicker. So I don't know. I just find it odd. I find it odd that someone this healthy and this focused on making sure his body is taken care of game in and game out, day in and day out, and all of a sudden he has an issue that this is going to take him out for the whole year. I'm looking for answers or some kind of a thought. I don't know.
Robert Wheeler says, Joe, do you think part of the reason Luka isn't playing well is because his confidence took a hit when he went from the face of the franchise for Dallas to Dallas saying, we don't need you to win?
No. I don't think it has anything to do with confidence. I think his leg is recovering. He's had an issue with this. He's had an issue with this calf for a while. He played through it last year. And that's a fact. He looks like he's laboring, or he's worried about re-injuring it, if anything. Yes. I'm curious to see how he's going to come out tomorrow. If he comes out tomorrow like he looked like when he played Charlotte, then it might be best to just let him rest, even if it means sitting him down for a few weeks, because it's not going to do anybody any good. But I'm curious. I'm curious to see what they're going to do tomorrow with him, how he's going to work the game, how he's going to control the game. I was not very happy that they didn't let him make the shot instead of LeBron at the end of the game in Charlotte. But at the same time, I also thought, well, maybe he couldn't. But I figured, look, this is one of the reasons why you got this guy over here. He's one of the few guys that can make shots like that. Why didn't you, give him a shot? Why didn't you give him the shot? Because no matter how much you guys want to deny it, LeBron is not clutch at the end of games. There's statistics and there's the eye test to have said it for at least his entire Laker career. He's just not
but-
good at hitting clutch shots at the end of games.
Before we go into something I want to show you from last night's community mailbag, let's go to something Best League said. What's up, Best League? He says, Joe, bro, do you think... I love what this... Bro, do you think playing Austin next to LeBron and Luka causes one of them to go to the corner three where they are not good and misabuse their powers? I think they were just trying to acclimate Luka a little bit as far as playing him a little bit more off ball to start off with. I think he will be taking over the majority of possessions, and you will have more Austin and LeBron off ball. I think that is going to be the pattern going forward once they feel Luka is more capable of doing it. We might see it as early as tomorrow or definitely on Tuesday. If he's available on Tuesday, I think you're going to see a lot of that. But your thoughts, Joe, on that? I'll bring it back up.
Just the talent between LeBron, Luka, and Austin says they're probably not best playing together at the same time. Austin is not a spot-up shooter, and neither is Doncic, and neither is LeBron. So how are you going to have one basketball to be distributed between three people? If you had two giraffes up front that would rebound and play stout defense, that could be maybe something that could work, because maybe there might be some spacing advantages there. But at the same time, all teams have to do is force those guys to sit at the three-point area and make them shoot until they keep missing. Austin isn't a guy that's going to Dale Ellis you to death. Maybe Luka could. LeBron can't. He can in spurts, but he can't. He's not a spot-up shooter either. Even though he's shot, I think his jump shooting is actually very underrated to me. I think he shoots very well from where he was and where he is now. I think he shoots much better than he's ever had in his career, from what I've seen the last few years. But he's still not a spot-up shooter. His best attribute is being able to kind of maybe create some separation, dribble the ball, and kind of gaze at what might be coming. Does he go to the basket? Does he step back, shoot a three? Luka does that pretty much as well. So neither of those guys are really spot-up shooters on a regular. The best lineup, in my view, is going to be when Luka is 100% and LeBron are 100%, and the other three guys are set. If it's DFS, Jackson Hayes, and Rui Hachimura, let's say, I think it would be best to have Austin come off the bench, because Austin can ruin all the other bench teams. He's playing real well against starters. I can only imagine how good his numbers would be against the secondary lineups. And even if he's not, you can use Austin to rest LeBron more. You could use Austin to rest Luka more. You want to start resting Luka more now that he is here. You want him to be more fresh. You want him to play effective 35-minute games instead of being the guy that's controlling the ball every series, game in and game out for 42 minutes. That's not really his game. He's not going to be Kobe. He's not going to be Reggie Miller. Those guys were, in a lot of ways, half robot, half human. They could run all day for 20 years. I don't think Luka's that kind of player. I think Luka needs more subtleties. But it's going to have to be addressed likely this summer. There's not really much they can do this year with the roster, but they can start that process of creating chemistry with who they have now, and then build on that as his tenure continues.
Harry, I'm going to get you tied into our the one that was said yesterday here in a second. But Harry says the hate YouTubers have on LeBron is pathetic. I don't think this is basketball analyst. I don't know what he meant by that second statement, but
I think he meant analysis.
Yes.
Okay, so he thinks we're LeBron haters. Is that what that means? I didn't read it. I'm sorry. No, I got to go back and read it.
I mean, I guess maybe that's what you could take away from it. Maybe he's talking about
All
other
right,
people.
I'm
that
gonna
LeBron
say
haters.
this. I'm gonna say this like you're all 5-year-olds. Not to insult you, but I'm gonna make it very clear right now. I do not dislike LeBron James. I've disliked things he said and things that have kind of contributed to a lack of focus with the team because of what he said, but I don't dislike LeBron James. And that's it. I don't know what else to tell you.
We just tell you the stats we tell you how it is.
Screw
how
all
we see it.
Screw all that. I got to make this a little bit more clear. I do not dislike LeBron James. I want to make it very clear. I do not dislike LeBron James. I am going to support LeBron James because he's a Laker.
But you cannot ignore 11 turnovers, whether it's Luka,
No.
LeBron, AR, or
It's
whoever.
more than that. It's not about that. You have people that are interpreting that we do not like LeBron James. I'm going to say it again. I do not dislike LeBron James. I am happy he is a Laker. Because the alternative was Rob Sacre, Ryan Kelly, Tarek Black. Help me, God, get me out of this nightmare. So I want to make that clear. I am happy LeBron came to LA, even though he has frustrated me in certain times, and I question whether it was worth it. Why? But why did I say that at that time? Why? Because a player should not dictate what a franchise organization is supposed to do completely. And he was doing that for a while. And when he was, and his agency was doing it, it was when the Lakers started hitting the skids. Again, back to what I'm saying. It's about the Lakers, guys. It's about winning. It wouldn't have mattered if it was Kobe or Shaq. It wouldn't have mattered if it was anybody other than LeBron. It doesn't matter. I want this team to win. It's about winning. I'm a Laker fan. I am a LeBron fan because he's a Laker. If LeBron didn't play for the Lakers, I wouldn't give a damn about LeBron and what he does. Guess what? If Kobe never played for the Lakers, if Shaq never played for the Lakers, I wouldn't give a damn about what they do either. Is that clear? I hope that's clear, and I hope you guys understand that. And please, don't insult people's intelligence, okay? Because this is stupid now. If a player has 11 turnovers, I can't remember the last time someone of that ilk had 11 turnovers in a game. If you don't allow me to criticize that, then you're living in a fantasy land. You're living in fantasy land. I'm not going to be impressed with 40 points a game with 11 turnovers. I'm not. Because I've said it, I'll say it again. Those 11 turnovers, a lot of them were bad turnovers. They were not forced. That's what kept him in. That's what kept Portland in the game and gave him enough time to get 40 points. If you watch the game, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Well,
Here's the thing, Harry. I'm going to tell you this. I don't need to appreciate him right now. You appreciate careers when they're done. Right now, he's got a job to do. I don't have time to appreciate LeBron James. You want? And I'm gonna tell you this. I had friends of mine ask me, "You sure you want LeBron to keep winning championships? This is after 2020." I said, "What the hell are you talking about?" They go, "Well, he just won his fourth. If he wins one more, that means he's going to be tied with Kobe." I go, "So?" He goes, "Well, wouldn't that kind of bother you?" I'm like, "Why the hell would that bother me?" I'm like, "It's the Lakers." I go, "I want LeBron to win the next 10 championships. If LeBron is a better player in the end, better statistics, better whatever, I don't give a shit." And I love Kobe. Hey, I'll always be a fan of Kobe. I relate to him more than LeBron, for sure. That's for sure, no matter what happens. But I am a Laker fan, folks. You see that jersey in the back with Luka on it? We wouldn't put that there unless Luka was wearing a Laker jersey. Just really understand what where we're coming from here, guys.
And I have repeatedly said
if I criticize my own family members and my own friends and my own people that I work with, why can't I criticize LeBron James or Kobe or whoever when they don't do well? What they're better than us? No. I'm not gonna play that. I'm not. It's a game by game thing, and then we kind of go on. He did what he did, good and bad, and now it's time to go. You guys got to get off this hate stuff. I do not hate LeBron James. You can say I'm a hater, that's fine, but I'm not. I want LeBron James to succeed, and honestly, if LeBron can play like this for 5 more years, I don't mind him playing. I'm not sitting there waiting for him to leave. The only time I've wanted him to leave is if there was no chance at winning and he was just basically doing what he did last year, which is force the Lakers to draft his son instead of getting talent and really being stuck in the mud and being delusional about what your chances of winning a championship.
And I have repeatedly said, Joe, that he is statistically having the best season ever for an individual in the NBA 40 years of age or older. There is no denying that. No one can deny it. And we're not hating anyone for that. But the thing is, and he had a great offensive game, shooting-wise and scoring-wise for the Lakers that helped get them along with the 32 added in there by Austin Reeves to get that job done last night. It was basically LeBron and AR put the team on their entire backs to get the job done last night. We said that. We stated that. But even LeBron would tell you 11 turnovers is too much for any individual, including the all-time leader in turnovers. He has so much usage, it comes with the territory. But when you have 11 turnovers, that is, even for him, too much. But let me bring you from last night's comments. Endorphin, who's usually a big supporter of yours, he said, I adore the channel, Joe, but what happened last night was trying to be positive, especially with respect to LBJ. Didn't we say last night we're trying to be more positive since the Luka trade? And we've repeatedly said that. And even we get called out for being too positive here because he says we're not positive. But he said the guy just scored 40 points as a 40-year-old. And the first things you guys talk about are his turnovers and him being 1 for 29 in clutch situation. He says he's a GOAT or otherwise a Jordan fan, blah, 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 blah. For the record, I wasn't LeBron's fan, but I recognize greatest. There's a double standard, and if Luka had the same performance. See, the thing that kills me here, and the thing he's very wrong on, Endorphin, is he says, if Luka had the same performance as LBJ did tonight, you guys would not be calling out his turnovers. That is flat out a lie. That is flat out a falsehood. And Endorphin, I expect apology from you for that, because if you said you are such a fan of this channel, as I know you are, and don't let me get into why I know you are, because I just know you are. I will say this. You should not say these things about this because that's a lie, that's a falsehood, and that's something that you need to apologize for us next time you're watching this show. Because it's absolutely incredulous that you would say we would not call Luka out for the same exact thing, Joe.
You want us to criticize Luka for trying to get away from something that's taken out one of his legs. The man just bought $50 million home and has, I know everybody thinks rich people don't have problems. Well, folks, you try buying a house and then having somebody call you and say, by the way, we moved you from your job where you just set your kids in at school and bought a home that you prepared for however long you did so it could be your dream home, and then your boss calls you and says, oh, by the way, you're moving to California. Not only that, but you also just lost $100 million. Now, just saying, he's still a human being. At the same time, that's part of the business. At the same time, folks, and I'm going to answer thoroughly on Robert's question too comment about how he said I wanted LeBron to retire at the end of the year. This is all going to correlate, okay? Folks, we witnessed, in my view, it looked like a lot of other people's views at the shock. one of the most unique trades I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of trades in 34 years of watching the NBA. I have never seen a trade like this. It was complete bewilderment. I couldn't speak for like 2 hours. I was literally speechless in my head. Like my head would not work. It couldn't compute. It was a shock. Now imagine I'm some idiot on a radio show on YouTube that has no skin and literal skin in the game. Now flip that on to Luka. Just bought a home. I think he has a fiance, Gerald.
Yes.
Okay. You've got somebody else in your life that you're going to apparently spend the rest of your life with. You're buying a home. You're adored by the city. You're adored by the fan base. And then boom. And you just want everybody to just be cooking marshmallows and putting candy and graham crackers together and say, oh, yeah, you should just come over here and just do what you do. It's a shock that's probably still getting its aftershocks. But to finish off Robert's comment, Robert, I wanted LeBron to retire at the end of the year, not because I don't like LeBron. He can still play for another probably 3 years. You can obviously see it. If you're not going to win a championship with this squad, then you got to turn the page. I don't care if it's LeBron James. I'm not here to watch LeBron score 40 points once a month during the year. I'm sorry, I'm not. I don't care about LeBron if he scores 80,000 points. I don't care about stats. I use stats to explain winning. That's it. There's a difference between someone scoring 30 and someone scoring 8 points. Yes, those normal statistics matter in describing what you're watching. But I don't care about he scored 40 at age 40 and 77 days. What is that going to do for any of you? Are you going to go put that on your wall? Hey, I watched LeBron score 40 points in Portland. I'm going to hang that on the wall. What is this? Gaylord Fokker winning 13th place in whatever sport he was playing? I don't care, guys. I'm sorry, I don't. And just because I don't care doesn't mean I don't like the guy. And when I criticize him because he's given me a reason to criticize him. He's not making shots when he's supposed to. He's turning the ball over when he shouldn't because he's supposed to be the greatest of all time. And he's supposed to be, apparently, the highest IQ player in the NBA. This isn't me saying this. I never said those things. That's what's been told to me. And you guys can't have both. You can't have both. You can't sit there and say, oh, he scored 40 and he's 40. And then when he has a bad game, they're like, oh, well, see, he's 40. Guys, you can't. It's not fair. That's not fair. I sound like Mad Dog Russo right now. That's not fair. That's not fair. He's still pissed about the Dodgers stuff too. I can't wait to get the Dodgers show going because I really want to harp on him. He's a Giants fan too. And a lot of people don't know that. So this is a 82 game season. It's a marathon. You're going to go through the peaks and valleys. And you're going to criticize, and you're going to pump up, and you're going to criticize and pump up at the same time. Sometimes you guys got to kind of understand that that's part of the business here. Do you want me to come onto the show? Let's see. Let's do an experiment, Gerald. I just thought of this at this second. Mm-hmm. What was the character I played? It was a few months ago. I even forgot his name. What was his name? The positive.
Yeah, Mr. Positive. I forgot.
We got to go back to the archives. I completely forgot.
Yeah.
Because
was it Chet?
It was Chet something, right?
Yes, Chet. Yes.
We'll find out. I'm
the sweater on. Yeah,
I'm gonna bring my little what was it? Cardigan sweater. Yeah. I'm gonna tie it, like I'm at a country club, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do an experiment. I don't know when I'm gonna do this. Maybe we'll do it in a few weeks. I'm gonna do Chet, the positive guy, for a week, and then I'm going to go LeBron hater for the next week, and I want to see the results of that. How about that? Is that going to be okay for everybody? Because there's going to be some new people that are going to be coming in, and they're going to be like, who the hell is this chump? Who's this idiot kissing LeBron's ass? And then the following week, we're going to be talking smack. LeBron might drop 32, 12, and 11, and I'd be like, man, he couldn't play defense to save his life. And I'll just say that pretty much the entire show and just run it every game, no matter what happens, and we'll see what happens. That's funny, sports baby. I was waiting for the Dodger question, actually. They've played everybody in their farm system in the last couple of days. I don't really have an assessment on the Dodgers yet. It is a slippery slope, but see, this is going to prove a point, guys. It's going to prove that people, all of us, maybe not me because I'm too smart for that, and I'm going to say, I'm burying myself saying that. Okay, here, let me rephrase that. There are things that you will hear, people will hear, and they want to believe it is what it is. People want to believe that certain people are thinking a certain way, and there's really nothing you can do. There's really nothing you can do about that. And for us as a show, if half the people think that we're this way and the other half think we're the other way, we're actually in the middle, and that's good. That means there's balance. That means it's really you. It's you that is interpreting who we are, and we're right in the middle. It's half and half. At that point, I'm sorry, we can't do anything about it. That's a lie. They criticize Austin too. Who did somebody say that we didn't criticize Austin? I mean, didn't
criticize him for years.
Okay, I'm trying to understand something here. What do you want me to criticize Austin Reeves about?
I mean, his defense all season long has been horrid.
Okay, first of all, what is horrible? One-on-one defense?
Teams are, and you know this, Joe. Teams have gone out of the way to pick on him, and since he, had the trade with D'Lo where he became the primary ball maker, his defense is already disappointing. Defense has fallen off even more. The thing is, though, again, I did credit him for having enough energy to play really good defense against Jamal Murray in that playoff series in the first round. The statistics are there to back it up. But if you look at it now, teams continuously target him on the defensive end for a reason, Joe. And I'll just leave it at that. He does have the whereabouts to go ahead and have that really ability to take charges and that are successful more times than not. But it's just more than taking charges. It's about being able to keep the guy in front of you from scoring or being able to dictate where he wants to go. And unfortunately, right now, he hasn't done a good job of doing that all season. I mean, since FIFA, Joe, his defense has been below average. Everybody knows that outside of that one period of time where he really laid energy into that first round of the playoffs, but it came at the cost of his offense, Joe, because his offense really suffered, as we know that as well.
I'm going to ask you guys this question. I'm going to ask you too, Gerald, before I address Harry's.
We got a lot of, speaking of, they call us haters. We got a lot of angry people hating in the comments.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Let's try to be the mediators here. So
we're trying.
You guys, the regulars, you guys will know this, and Gerald definitely know it. How often do you hear me criticize LeBron's defense? Me, specifically. There you go. I heard the silence. You don't remember, or you probably don't really hear it, which you don't. And I'll tell you why I don't criticize LeBron's defense as much, even though we probably should. Because I am a realist. You're talking about a team that's very top heavy. I'm talking even before the Luka trade. I'm talking about the AD LeBron run the last few years. Top heavy. I'm not stupid. I understand if he puts all his effort on defense or even above average defense, he's not going to have enough juice to play the other side, which is where he's needed the most. So let's talk about Austin Reeves. Am I going to sit here and am I going to, and there's a history here. Unfortunately, there's no documentation on it because this is way before I was ever on a show. But I'm going to go to Austin and then I'm going to go to someone else that's familiar. I hinted at it a little bit a few shows ago so that you guys know I'm not just picking on Austin, LeBron, and only those guys or whoever. Austin is not a one-on-one guy. He is not athletically able to guard guys like Jamal Murray, guys like John Morant. I'm sorry. To sit there and criticize Austin Reeves because he stinks at something it's not possible for him to be good at, I'm sorry. It's just not very practical for me. Okay? This is, in a lot of ways, the same issues, and the Laker fans were brutal towards Derek Fisher the last 5 years with the Lakers at how bad his defense was. But he was such a great leader. He was so clutch. Kobe trusted him. Phil Jackson trusted him. They dealt with it. It was what it was. So I never really even. I mean, it was tough. It was just aggravating. But we're not talking about those things because it's being unrealistic. Like you want me to expect that. You want to expect that Austin Reeves is going to play all defense against guys like that. There are guys that are good on defense that can't stop those guys. And you want Austin Reeves to stop them? You want LeBron to put all his efforts in both sides of the court after 400 years of playing in the NBA? It's not very realistic. So whoever's listening to this now they're going to hear, oh, now you're kissing LeBron's ass. Oh, now you're saying Austin Reeves isn't bad either. Oh, you must like him because he's from Oklahoma. That's why. So, Harry, you're new here. At least I haven't seen you here regularly anyways. All Kobe and MJ fan wanted Bron to all Kobe and MJ fan never wanted Bron to succeed. Watch tomorrow game, they will tear him apart. Okay. First and foremost, I don't want anyone to succeed when they're playing against my team. That includes LeBron James. Anyone. And I was one of the few guys, much like people who actually didn't dislike Barry Bonds back in the day. But hating Barry Bonds, unless you were a Giants fan, that was status quo. And I'm a Dodger fan, and I was one of the only few people that I've ever met that liked Barry Bonds, other than Giants fans. I thought his decision, which is where his hate really took off. When he did the decision is when he became a person that no one liked. And I'm sitting there going, I don't understand what's going on here. Why don't you like LeBron James because he left? No, he did it because he made this big announcement on TV and this and that. I go, okay, are you a Cleveland Cavalier fan? No. I'm like, why the hell do you give a shit? Why do you care? Why do you not like LeBron James because he went on a TV show and said, I'm going somewhere? If you're not a Cleveland Cavalier fan, I'm not really going to take you seriously. Why do you care? Why does a Denver Nugget fan or an NBA fan, let's just say, care about what that was? That's how people are. They dislike things when they don't feel like it's fair, quote unquote, or the crowd says something and they kind of amoeba themselves into it. Kind of like how the Patrick Mahomes thing is. Patrick Mahomes was loved 2 years ago. What happened? What did he do? I don't like his wife, and I don't like his brother. I don't like that he complains after a play. Really? Oh, I'm tired of seeing Patrick Mahomes win all the time. Really? That's why you don't like Patrick Mahomes? Because he wants to win? Because he's obsessed with winning?
Yay! A subscriber!
Thank you so much for subscribing. Truly appreciate it.
Some of your priorities on how you judge things is just skewed. And I guess as content creators here, we're going to have to get used to it, especially as the crowd gets bigger. You guys are going to assume what you assume, and I can't do anything for you. I'm sorry, other than tell you the truth. And we're going to be wrong, folks. We're going to be wrong. We're going to be wrong a lot. Now, we're not going to be wrong like half the time. Hell no, we're too good for that. But we'll probably be wrong 15, 10. Yeah, like right now. Looks like Max Christie might be an NBA player, and I said he wasn't.
I said he would be a rotation player, and that's exactly what.
So I might have to eat. I might have to eat my shoe on that one, but we'll see.
It was
We'll have to wait and
Stone,
see.
and who else was it? Sean. I think Sean.
It was me and Stone.
Okay.
Joe hates LeBron. You can see it in. Hold on, let me put this up. Joe hates LeBron. You can see it in him, but the fact is, LeBron's still the best player on the team, and they ain't mad because of it. Luka doesn't care for basketball the way.
Man, the drugs are flowing high. Lloyd, get off the drugs, man. Several days now. You either hate
Let him
Luka
do
or you
it.
hate
It's
LeBron.
okay. Let him do it. It is what it is. I can't do anything for him. Let's see. Hold on. I got to talk to my girl Natalia. Hold on, Natalia. Let's see here.
Lloyd. But thank you for watching, Lloyd. Thank you for
There's
watching.
haters. Everyone. There's still so many Kobe haters to this day. Even on ESPN, you have those people saying they have Curry over Kobe and they have KD over Kobe. It's funny. Forget about ESPN. People hated Kobe until like 2 years after he retired. They said he wasn't a good teammate. He took too much money the last 2 years. He's too greedy. He's too selfish. Dude, it's hilarious how people changed after a couple of years. Kissing his ass. Yeah. Back to the masses. Folks, you get suckered into the masses. People think that they don't, but they do. Be careful. Be careful of the masses. They'll engulf you in that negativity or this way of thinking when it doesn't make any sense. Let's see what Doobie. Hold on. Doobie's been talking for the last freaking 15 minutes. I haven't been able to prompt.
We got a list, Doobie. Sorry.
I understand what he's saying, but he worded it way wrong. Who's he? Me?
Who's he?
You talking about me, Doobie?
But let me ask you this, Joe, because the Max Christie thing. Yes, they're going to talk to you about that, and Rodell and I have gone back and forth on that. I always said he was going to be a rotation player, either on the Lakers or somewhere else, and it's somewhere else. So I'm happy for him. He's finding a spot in the rotation league. I always thought Dalton Connect would be the better player. He always thought that Max Christie would be the better player. Okay, so fair enough. We have our disagreement. There you go. But the thing is, Joe, Max Christie got traded in his third year, right? Correct?
Mm-hmm.
In his third year, correct? For a superstar player in Luka Doncic. The one I hold even more egregious. I know you guys all are on Max Christie right now. The one you should really be still stinging and egregious on is Ivica Zubac. Joe, what year did Zubac get traded in?
2019.
In his what year?
Second year? Third year, yeah. Third year, sorry.
Same year as Max Christie. For Mike effing Muscala. The guy's averaging 15 and 12 right now. Shooting, close to probably 70% or at least 65% from the field. Absolutely just killing it for the Clippers. He's got a nice fat contract, and he's not rested on his laurels. He's still helping them win basketball games continuously. That's the one that should really, really be sticking in your craw. The Lakers traded Max Christie in his third year for a superstar in Luka Doncic, or someone that is expected to play at that level for the Lakers, Joe. The Lakers traded Ivica Zubac in his third year for someone who just became an afterthought and is now retired from the league. Sorry, guys.
When we talked about Vanderbilt being signed a couple years back, the first thought I had when they signed him was, really? And then the next thought was, because I was in a positive mode at that point. Rob had signed everybody in the summer. He extended everybody in the summer. They had just come off the Western Conference Finals trip. And I said, all right, guys, and this is all archived. I said, all right, guys, no one can complain. Austin got his money. They got players in the offseason that got their money. I think AD got his extension that summer as well. I think it was in August. Vanderbilt got his money. All right, guys, now it's on you. Now you guys got to perform. No one can sit there and complain, oh, well, we were talking negotiation, da-da-da-da-da. None of that was going on. He signed everyone and extended everyone. Let's go win a championship. Well, I didn't like the signing in terms of the terms, but I also said, well, worst case, you've got something that can be traded. How or when or what, that's debatable, but you don't want to lose that money maybe in a trade that might matter. That's how I looked at it. And maybe I should have looked at Max Christie's in the same way, but I didn't, because since the draft, I was in a fog. If Empire Jeff is still here, the Dodgers were down 1-2 in the NLDS and wasn't thinking straight. Empire Jeff had a moment of weakness during that time until the Dodgers came back and whooped the Padres the next two games. Then he went back to being normal Jeff. Hey, look, I'm a human being, guys. Sometimes I get emotional. Sometimes I might say some things that maybe I shouldn't have because I wasn't thinking right. Now, normally I'm not like that. Normally I think right even when the pressure's on. But there was so much bad going on. What else could I go with other than what the hell are we doing here? Why are you giving this guy this much money when he hasn't done squat? How about give him this money when he does have the year that he's having, then give him $8 to $12 million? At least that's what they did with Austin. But anyways, point is, you're not going to be right all the time. And anybody who thinks they're right all the time is full of shit, because they're not. It doesn't matter if they're getting paid $1 million a year for it or if there's some schmuck like me on a podcast on YouTube. We're going by what we're seeing. Just like how we talk about LeBron, just like how we talk about Austin Reeves or whoever. I'm going by the game, man. I'm not going by, wow, LeBron the last 12 years has scored 30,000 points during a Portland game. Why would I be thinking about his career during a game in February? If you guys want to wax poetic his career every game when he has a good one, that's on you. I'm not going to do that. Yes, I'll compliment him. Wow, what a great game. Cool. But, folks, they were neck and neck with Portland, guys. And they were sucking ass. They were missing shots left and right. This game should have been over. And the reason why it wasn't was because they couldn't stop turning the damn ball over. And unfortunately, the guy that kept turning the ball over was LeBron James.
And AR. He had 6 himself.
And what happens there is you don't have enough spacing. You don't have enough guys that are quick off the screens. That's where the talent part of this comes in. And I'm not trying to clown the guys that are there. I'm sorry, but there's certain talent that can do things, and there's certain that can't. Guys like DFS, guys like Jackson Hayes, guys like Rui Hachimura, they're not going to play like all-stars. They're not those kind of players. The difference between an all-star and a good role player in the NBA is so huge, guys. Not just from a shot-making standpoint, a distribution standpoint, a defensive standpoint. I'm talking about the little things, getting out of screens, getting open, creating space, getting elevation on the jump shot. Those things, sometimes it's just a half a second quicker. Sometimes it's an extra 2 inches on the jump shot that will make a difference from an all-star player to a role player in the NBA. And that's how it's a game of inches. Pros is a game of inches, guys. Pros is one extra hit in baseball every 10 at-bats. Puts you in the Hall of Fame, folks. Think about that for a second. Think about that. If you're batting 2 out of 10, you are not going to sniff an all-star game unless you're hitting like 50 home runs, which is rare. Someone who bats one less hit every 10 at-bats, that's the difference between a Hall of Famer and someone who is not going to sniff an all-star game, let alone a Hall of Fame. The NBA might not be as clear, but it's the same. Look at these guys when they play, man. You'll see it. And maybe I'm a nerd about it. Maybe I pay attention to those things. I could probably go into more of those details, but I don't necessarily think it's good on it. I was taught in broadcasting school that you don't want to get too statistical. Stats kind of are boring. You want to analyze the game. You want to make it relatable. You want to make it relatable for the crowd, not only for the people that are watching the show that are sports fanatics, but maybe those people that are just liking what you say and can understand what's going on based off of how you correlate it with everyday life. Just like how we use the CEO thing. I'm sorry, I can't take credit for that. That's Gerald's favorite broadcaster, Colin Coward, said something.
No, it's not mine.
It's yours. About how the quarterback is the CEO of the team, something like that.
I can't stand him. He's
a
jackass.
Yeah. And
the
only time I'll get heated, really, it's two things that really get me heated. And luckily, it hasn't really happened much here in the last few months. Don't put words in my mouth. I know what I say. Okay? Even if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Don't say I said shit that I didn't say. And don't fucking tell me I don't watch games and I don't know ball. Man, you tell me that and you're going to get it. You're going to get a verbal fucking, you know what. Don't tell me I'm watching 82 games. We're watching 82 motherfucking games a year with the Lakers, and God knows how many other games in the NBA. We know what the fuck we're watching, okay? We do 2 to 3 hours a night on top of that. We're spending almost half the fucking day paying attention to this shit. Don't say we don't know ball. Sorry, yeah, that's it. Don't go that way. Guys, I came here and said that we should. Hold on, let me put Lloyd up here real quick, and then I'll let everybody else get on.
Do you have to?
I'll go one more time.
He hasn't said anything.
Guys, I came on here and said that we should have traded Austin instead of Max, and they laughed at me. Everyone attacked me in the chat and called me crazy. Now I'm saying Luka ain't built for LA. Well, we're gonna see if you're right, Lloyd, but it's not about Luka being built for LA. If the question you need to ask yourself is, why do you think that? This is Luka Doncic, bro. He's too talented not to make it anywhere.
Thank you, No Joker.
That's a fact. Fred, Luka plays 70-plus games every year, but this season he's consistently top 10 in minutes. Luka is not injury prone. And that's kind of that's the fallacy that he's not healthy. They did that they called Anthony Davis street clothes when he actually plays games, and they don't call Kawhi Leonard street clothes. If there's anybody that's been street clothes in LA, it's either Paul George or Kawhi Leonard. Am I wrong? Why would you call someone street clothes when they've been playing? AD played 76 games last year.
Mark Williams is more street clothes.
There you go. And Lloyd, if people attack you on the chat, you got to let that go too. We're going to let go of you saying what you want to say and the reason why I'm going to do that is because you don't just write something and just it's nonsense. You at least kind of build the discussion a little bit. So
we may disagree, but
yeah.
Well, hold on. Let me just say this because let me just say this, Joe, because we got called out in the chat in the comments for this after the game yesterday that if we don't like somebody, we just call them out and get rid of. No, Lloyd's been after us for days on this, and Nick T and all these Luka haters. We don't kick them out. We don't ban them. We may disagree with them, but we let them continue to speak their mind. You even post them and highlight them, Joe. You highlight their comments. So I
don't care what you say. I'm not a censoring type. The only time I censor, me censor. Now, Gerald has his own level of tolerance. Gerald's his own man. If something bothers him, first of all, it's his show. Something bothers him and it doesn't bother me, that's got nothing to do with me. If he says, fuck this guy, I don't want him on here, I'm not going to argue. It's his show. He does whatever he wants. Me, there's only one thing I won't tolerate, no racist stuff. And we've had a few of those jokesters on here. You get rid of them and that's it. But if you're going to sit there and you're going to argue about what we're saying and at least somewhat articulate it, I'm not going to be, I don't care. Whether you're wrong or not. I mean, we'll crack on you. That's what we do. If you're wrong, that's part of the show. Yeah, I mean, I can't understand for the life of me how anyone would not be excited about Luka Doncic at 25 years old being an LA Laker, folks. And I'm sorry, I'm not choosing Max Christie over Austin Reeves. I'm not doing that either. And whether there's a debate on who's better, it has nothing to do with who's better. I'd rather have Austin for this team. That's it. That's it. That is how this show goes, and that's how we'll always be. And we have our crowd out here, our regulars that are going to back us up, and maybe they're going to come at you aggressively. Well, guys, that's It's no different than my boys growing up. I've known guys for 40 years. 40 years, and that's how we were when we grew up. Anybody talk shit, hey, man, what the hell are you thinking about? It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. We have people on here that are going to defend us. And that can't bother you either. You got to know where you're at. Somebody messes with your sibling, and your sibling probably caused the shit. You're still going to cover for your brother. It's just that's kind of how it is. And as an adversary, you kind of still understand it, even though it's kind of messed up. It is what it is. Hold on, let me get to. I'm back, y'all. Up. Hold on, I gotta post this. Doobie, what is this going? I'm back, y'all. Up it, even if I don't agree. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and that's why we love you, Doobie. In wins and losses,
and we told you, we said, Doobie said some stuff. Doobie said some stuff about Luka. What, last week or what was it, 2 weeks ago? And the first thing I said, I think there was some stuff brewing. I said, no. Doobie's a made guy. He can say whatever he wants. He could say the sky is black when it's daytime. I don't give a shit what he says. He can say what he says.
It's like the mafia, Doobie.
The point is, Doobie's earned it. He's a made guy. He can say what he wants. I ain't saying I'll say some things, but it's just what it is, guys. This is how it works. Good to see you too, Chris. Thanks for being here, brother. See here. Maybe one
YYC, though, mentioned earlier, he is thinking, are the Lakers going to go into a free fall?
You guys remember everything, I swear to God.
Well, yes and no, Joe. Sometimes they get things blatantly wrong, and they say things that to us. Well, you said this, and like, no, I didn't really say that, and I didn't say that, and I come back up, I didn't say that. So sometimes they get it wrong as well, and I'll just leave it at that. But YYC earlier in the chat said he is concerned that the Lakers might fall into the play-in. Your thoughts on that?
That was. I remember that. So thanks, YYC. I'm sorry it took us so long to get back to you. It was like an hour ago.
We had a whole long list today. YYC.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. There's a possibility of that happening because we still don't really necessarily know if Luka is going to be 100%, at least at this point. There was a little worry. I'm not going to lie. There was a little worry watching him in that Charlotte game. He did not look right. And I normally I would say play with the injury. You guys know how I am, but a calf is different. Playing basketball and having a messed up calf, messed up hamstring, or messed up groin, I don't know how the hell it's very difficult to maneuver around that. And there's also a mental part of this. I mean, there's a lot factoring into that. So if they were to drop into the play-in, they would have to go on a really bad losing streak because right now, the 7th seed, which is the Minnesota Timberwolves, they're 3.5 games. I'm sorry, they're 5 games behind the Lakers. They have 26 losses. So the Lakers would have to really shit the bed to drop 5 losses with, 28 games left now? That's not really the norm. Unless Luka is out. If we find out next week Luka's out for the regular season, there's a possibility.
It's probable for tomorrow.
Yeah, there's a possibility. That's the first time he's been probable. He's usually been questionable, right?
Mm-hmm.
If for some reason LeBron or hell, you could even say Austin Reeves. I mean, if Austin Reeves doesn't get kicked out of the Charlotte game, the Lakers probably win that game. They need him. If any of those three, really, if anyone, if the Lakers lost Jackson Hayes, we're screwed really bad, even with that.
I'm not so sure on that.
I would say
he's been terrible. He's been terrible.
You gonna put Alex Lynn in there?
Okay, he does. Okay, there's no one better on the pick and roll because that's the only thing he does, Joe. But
forget about the pick and roll. Alex Lynn's been on the team for 14 minutes. We're talking about a guy that at least has been with this team for 2 years. There's chemistry. There's a benefit there with having him there.
As a starter, Joe, his rim protection has been abysmal in the past couple of games. We've seen that as well as I. You can get a layup on him. Right there. There's the update on the injury list for everyone.
Right foot
Luka
surgery recovery. Bronny is with. They have to
I don't
put
know
the
why they
Bronny
put
James
that.
thing there.
They have to because he's a not a two-way. He's an actual salary player.
So they know they're not going to use him for the Denver game. Wow, what a surprise!
How do I view defense? Hayes has not been decent, Doobie. I have seen player after player score layups continuously over him. He has not been good on defense. Doobie, you cannot I called it out several times on the playback yesterday. You guys have got no Joker knows what I'm talking about because no Joker in the first half tried to defend him, and time again, he has. You're right, Gerald. You're right. Because
Harry, what media people?
guys, yeah,
Harry,
as
what
a rim protector, you gotta defend the rim, and he can't do that.
Who in the media has been who's been talking shit about JJ in the media? Have you heard anybody?
I don't know. I mean, for his rookie season, he is
Guys,
a good path. Yeah.
It's
I mean, the
guys.
Defense effort's been much better in recent weeks. You've seen the effectiveness of it. They've helped
since the Philly game.
Yeah.
The Philly game is the only game I wanted to. Yeah, Spreewell, JJ. But one game is not going to dictate a season. You're talking about a rookie coach who never coached in the NBA in any capacity. Any capacity. Who's had his roster flipped how many times this year? I'd say he's done a pretty damn good job.
Yeah, again, it's his rookie season. He's had his ups and downs, but right now the record speaks for itself, guys, and I'm going to give him credit for that. Again, the offense, the way he had it humming in the first part of the season, it's not what it once was. Now that, especially because you've got three very ball dominant isometric players, that ball doesn't move around like it did earlier in the season. But the defensive effort, which was abysmal for most of the season, Joe, has really come to form. At least the effort in the defense has really been noticeable upon DFS and Vando. Even though Vando still gets burned and toasted by, whether what was it? I mentioned, was it Daquan Jeffries? I think from in the Charlotte game. Of course, Ball did as well, but Ball, he's the star. He's going to do that. But still, the effort's there. The effort from DFS and the effort from Gabe Vincent, I see it, Joe. There's been a concerted effort in recent weeks, and I'm assuming a lot of that's because JJ's been trying to spearhead that, and I'm going to give him credit for it. The record speaks for itself.
I don't know. I think society is obsessed with credit more ways than one.
Mm-hmm.
Can we just analyze the game in and game out, maybe week in, week out, and maybe stop with the, hey, you remember what you guys thought of on August 8th? What about then? Like, guys,
Best, you've got a good point. We must
think about this for a second. You hire a coach that was doing a podcast with your number one guy, a guy who disrespected Jerry West and his era of basketball, disrespected the 90s, which had the best basketball player on the planet at that time, and several others, by the way. Probably has the most 75 All-NBA players of all time in that decade that played the majority of their time in that decade. What do you want us to say? Oh, well, JJ, he's just joking. Oh, you'll be great. We how are we going to know? You have to question that. Never coached, guys. You have guys that have been assistant coaches in the NBA that have still not got head coaching jobs, and they've been assistants for God knows how long, 10 years, 15 years. So I don't know. You can't keep going back and saying, hey, you thought this wouldn't work. Well, What did you expect? Based off the history. It's the same thing with these guys. Oh, nobody believed in us. Of course no one believed in you. You were 4-13 last year. It happens a lot in football because football turnarounds are more they're more likely to happen. Oh, nobody believed in us. They wanted to fire our coach. And I'm like, well, you sucked last year. What else did you want me to say? What, you gave me no indication that you were going to be this good and go on to win a Super Bowl compared to what I saw last year. Why? What does that even mean? Oh, well, I'm supposed to. What am I, Nostradamus? Oh, they had a bad year last year. They're going to go all the way next year. Oh, nobody believed in us. No one believes in anybody. 90% of the people out there don't believe in their own families and friends, and you want me to go believe some stranger that plays sports every minute of the day? We go by what is currently happening. So I'm going to go back to the subject. I was wrong at this moment. This thing could change still, by the way. I said Max Christie wasn't an NBA player. That was based off of 2 seasons where he sucked. And then on top of that, he got paid an extension for sucking. What did you want me to think? What did you want me to say? Oh, he got paid. That means he's going to go all the way. You know what happened? You know what happened before when I thought that? You know who that player was? Taylor Horton Tucker. Taylor Horton Tucker had 2 good years too, coming out the gate. He was young coming out the gate. He got his money, sucked ass. Sucked royal ass. So now you tell me why I was hesitant. Someone who was averaging 8 points a game too, to boot. And that's this year, by the way, not last year, not the year before. His numbers are going up a little bit, but when he got traded to Dallas, he's averaging 8 points a game. I'm sorry, am I supposed to shooting 42% from the field? Is that supposed to like make me like stand up and go, yeah, that's our guy? Come on, man. Let's see what Harry says here. Hold on. Joe, did you sincerely believe at the beginning of the season we will be 4 or 5? No, I said 11. I said they'd be 11 at the end of the year. That's archived as well.
Okay.
Do people hold on? I'm sorry. Let me get. I'm trying to catch up to
Got
everybody.
quite a list, Joe. Got quite a list.
Hey guys, you guys have been killing it on this chat lately. Keep it coming. We'll get to you. Do people forget Max was doing poor even in the beginning of the season and just recently started playing well, improved midseason? Yeah, Natalia, that's a good point as well. And again, we've said this numerous times. I want it to be wrong. We all want to be wrong. We all wanted to believe they'd be a 4 or 5 seed, but they didn't give me any indication from the draft, from the way they lost that last series again to Denver, and then the draft, and then the summer. They gave me no indication that they would be where they are right now, based off that.
I love how the fact that we've got haters on one side, we've got haters on the other side, and in the middle, Joe, is Kurt Affair. With always.
We need that sound. Hold on. Keep talking.
They should have traded LeBron instead of Max Christie. You casuals should have known better. Max is better than Jokic, according to Kurt Affair.
Hold on. Okay, hold on. I got to do this. Say his name again.
Kurt Affair.
I wonder half the rosters like, what the hell is that? I don't even know what that is. Some of you weren't even born when that was playing. So Kurt Affair is loosely based off of a show, a tabloid. So back in the early 90s, instead of what you see with Fox News, CNN, CNN used to be a channel then, but they actually talked news instead of, other things. But what the news stations were, what the news stations are now, you had a current affair. Then Hard Copy was another one, a current affair. That's those were the tabloid news stations like Fox and CNN are now. That was what they were then. So that's what that sound was from. I'm killing myself laughing. That's good. I got to get my soundboard next. I've got my new mic. I got my new headphones. I got to get my sound. I got to get my sound board here, so we can do those noises more.
Yo, guys,
I didn't watch Sunset Beach, but I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I used to watch Pacific Blue every now and then because I was an extra in it at one time. I was an extra on Pacific Blue. I was an extra. I played a dead guy on Silk Stockings. So back when Stu Siegel used to have, he might still have it there, but I don't think so. Stu Siegel used to have a non-union soundstage down in San Diego where all those Silk Stockings, the Pacific Blues, the most popular one was Renegade. All those really cool early 90s TV shows, the cheesy ones, that's where they would shoot a lot of their material. And I was an extra in a few of those things while I was down there. Those were good times, man. I really miss those times. Sunset Beach. Wow, I just got a memory. As soon as I read it, memory just dropped from that time.
Crazy.
Melrose Place. Melrose Place was more mainstream.
Yeah.
I do Kurt Affair. It's under Joe Soro, but I haven't updated it with a picture because I'm not paying the yearly fee. I've been on hiatus in my my thespian side job career.
and my only credit is Double Dragon. I think I'm on it IMDb for some podcast appearances from podcasters that wanted to add me in there, but yeah, my only movie credit for all the movies I worked on behind the scenes for special effects was Double Dragon. So
I do have a demo. I'll show it to you guys one day. I do have a demo reel. I got my SAG eligibility back in 2011. I still have the letter. Again, the reason why I didn't go forward with it is I realized that running the rat race down in LA it's a tough business. It's a tough business to get into. You got to grind. You hear about the Hollywood dream story where you get discovered. Unfortunately, if that's like winning the lottery, guys, there are people that win the lottery, but most people don't win the lottery, and they have to. It's a very tough business to make a living. So, but I'm still trying to, with my other entertainment ventures, I'm trying to still get there. At some point, hopefully, crossing my fingers. When I have the ability to have something in that industry, it doesn't matter whether it's a video game that gets me in, because that always turns into other things like voiceover work. It turns into live action type stuff, TV shows. If I'm fortunate enough to get to that point, at some point you'll see the career get back.
Let's preview tomorrow's game in Denver, and I'm going to start off with. I know Chris has got a statement there, but I'm going to start off this with something I answered on the chat for yesterday's video, where someone was talking about Denver. Denver is the hottest team in the NBA right now. They're just about ready to take over second place in the Western Conference. They're playing seemingly on all cylinders. This is going to be in the Mile High City. Again, the Lakers have just started playing together as a unit. I'm not going to take too much away. Whether they win or they lose, I can't take too much away because this Lakers team is not going to be the same team as the one we see heading into the playoffs. I think if everybody stays healthy, or in the case of Luka, gets healthier, and they start playing and meshing and they figure out each other's strengths and weaknesses more and work with each other more, you will get a better evaluation of what the team will look like going into playoffs. So that's, again, even if Luka goes for 50, LeBron goes for 50, whatever tomorrow, AR goes for 50, and they win, I can't take a whole lot from tomorrow because, again, compared to what it will be a month and a half from now, 2 months from now, this is not going to be the same team, in my opinion, on the Lakers. It is for Denver, but Denver's not going to show you all their cards as well.
This
Chris
isn't
case,
like
he wants to avoid Denver all the way because he doesn't feel
I
any.
I don't know really where to go with it, honestly. It's all going to depend on how healthy Luka is. Luka is a completely different piece when you factor in Denver. There's a history of Luka versus Denver, and the history says even though he's got a losing record against them, he plays very well against them. And I'm going to look at tomorrow's game more as a visual on what Luka looks like. That's my most important concern right now is how is he going to look? If he looks anything like he did against Charlotte, where he can barely move, it's probably not going to be a good night. Even if they stay competitive, it's the bad night means they're not going to win the game. They need Luka to be on that next, like, they need him to be kind of a threat. I'm not asking for 40 points, but I'm asking him to be a threat. If he shoots a three and he starts making them regularly, that's when he's a threat. If he can control the ball half the game, he's a threat. And I'm talking when he's controlling the ball, that means he's getting the ball to the right guys at the right time, getting easy baskets, easy open shots. And of course, if they commit and leave him open or allow him to get separation, then makes the shot, now you're causing a problem. This is not AD LeBron playing Denver anymore. Now you're going to have to deal with someone who can slice and dice your team. And it's going to put more pressure on those guys that usually go off on us because now they got to pay attention to a ball handling wizard that can make a shot anywhere on the court and make you look like a fool backpedaling on defense.
Harry says, Harry, are you I guess LeBron's agent, because he's very upset that Luka's on the team and AD's not on the team. But he says, Harry says, Mr. Joe and Joe, why are folks critical of NBA now? Maybe because of Bron. No, it's because the league's reliance on 3-pointers has changed the game entirely. The elongation of the reviews, I think, really upsets us here specifically on the show. I think the All-Star game weekend is worthless. I think what Adam Silver has done to try to overcorrect some things that he saw has not worked. But again, the over-reliance on 3-pointers, I know, has really turned off some. Take a look at the game the other day with Charlotte. I mean, the Lakers shot 51 threes, totally got away from what really works for them, driving the ball to the basket, getting fouled, getting to the line, getting up tempo, getting layups. That's what they're still better at doing than chucking up 51 threes. It got them out of the game and made them susceptible to lose, and they lost. But for the most part, as far as from a viewing standpoint, the reliance on the 3-pointers, I know, has been a sore subject for many, including Joe.
Well, there's legitimate reasons why the NBA has sucked recently, and a lot of it has to do with the way the game is being played. Whether LeBron is the catalyst to that is debatable. I wasn't very happy with his off the court stuff a while ago, and he's kind of gotten away from that the last 3-4 years. So it's probably less of an issue, at least with me, because I don't like when people talk and they don't have all the information. And my job in general is to make sure that the information is correct before I start yapping about it. If I don't really have all the details, I usually don't say anything. I'll mention a few things here and there that I know about, and then if I start hearing that the argument is going somewhere where I need to have more information with me, I'll stop talking because I don't have that information. I don't have time to go research that. It's hard. And then even if you do, a lot of times people are so focused on what they want to believe, they'll just say, "Oh, well, that's a lie," and then at that point, the argument becomes pretty much a moot point. With sports, it's a little different. The fact that everything's a 3-point shot right now is bad, but at the same time, in supporting the fact that society has become a negative Nancy, and it doesn't matter if it's the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball. It doesn't matter if it's movies, TV shows. so much is predicated on the people online that just talk garbage. And a lot of those people, by the way, I have found out over the last few years are all plants. They're all bots just trying to rile people up online and screw things up. That's something that that's funny, Joker. That's funny that we just live in a society where everyone, the majority of the people and everybody has a voice now with social media. Every schmuck has a voice. And most of them are not qualified to even have an opinion, even though you're entitled to it. They're just not qualified to have an opinion on the NBA because I end up finding out those people, oh, this game sucks. Okay, why? Well, they shoot too many threes. Okay, well, what else? Well, that's it. I go, well, how many games have you watched? I haven't watched an NBA game in a year. So your stupid ass made an assessment on a game based off what you heard. You haven't even watched anything. Even if you were right, but you haven't watched shit, and you're just going by what some other asshole said. You're an idiot. You're a dangerous person, by the way, too. Because somebody can say something in a neighborhood, and you might not even know it's real because you haven't been out there, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's what happened. And all of a sudden, all these other idiots will start believing it, and all of a sudden it fucks everything up without even without you even realizing that you did that. So if somebody comes to my neighborhood and, let's say, steals tools from a truck, that happens. I believe it. It's happened before. But what happens when there's 20 people on that site saying, oh, I saw this person. Oh, it might have been this person. Oh, this is probably what happened. And really, it wasn't even that. Turns out that it was probably a family member that hated the work that their other family member gave them. And to get back at them, they took their tools, right? More often than not, stuff like that is an inside job. But they created this fear in the neighborhood where, oh, there's a bunch of people walking around stealing shit. Until you have proof, until you tell me that you're actually participating, how do you really know? You're just basing off what you saw some other idiot say. So this is why people are on drugs. This is why people stress, drink coffee, whatever. Now, I've been fortunate that God put me on this earth in a weird way to be able to handle all this stuff. Nothing affects me, except when you hurt children. That one messes me up. But that becomes a murderous thing. Like my brain goes into murderous rage. So yeah. So tomorrow we're gonna watch tomorrow. I wish it was a little earlier. I don't like Saturday games in the evening. I think that's stupid. They should have it in the afternoon. I can't hear you, G.
But this is prime time, ABC.
Who in New York and Boston wants to watch a basketball game, a regular season basketball game of two teams they probably don't give two shits about at 8:30 at night? That's not prime time.
It's prime time for them. 8 o'clock.
8:30?
That's at 8:30. That is prime time for them. Prime time on broadcast networks are 8, 9, and 10.
I'm sorry. It's probably why I can never live in the East Coast. I don't want to watch an NBA game at 8:30 at fucking night. Okay? I barely want to watch it at 5:30. No, that's not going to work.
I don't mean to be laughing at you, Joe, but that is exactly
Well,
what prime
look
time
at this.
is.
Look at it this way, okay? Forget about the 5:30. What about the games that are 7:30? Now you're watching a game at 10:30. I'm just saying. I don't want to watch. I always laughed at my friends who live in the East Coast. They watch a Monday night game that started at 6. Back when? This is before now with the new schedule.
But don't we watch Laker games starting at 7:30?
Yeah, but that's 7:30 our time. If I was in the East Coast, it'd be 10:30.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's 5:30 our time and 8:30 there.
This is the exception because it is a 5:30 game. But generally, Laker games at home are 7:30, and that's not even 7:30 really. It's 7:42.
But this is in Denver. First off, it's on.
I know. I'm talking about in general. I'm not talking about tomorrow's game.
Okay.
And tomorrow's game is 5:30, 8:30 Eastern time. But regularly Laker games at home are sitting at 7 or 7:30. That means you're going to start watching a game. If you're a Laker fan, you're going to have to start watching games at 10 o'clock at night, 10:30 at night. That's crazy.
Doobie doesn't. He's an East Coast guy.
Doobie, my life, Joe. It's 1:36 a.m. right now. You're like Sean, man. I feel bad for you guys. You got to sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning every night. Well, we thank you for doing that.
Yes, we do thank everyone for doing that. Actually, I think Sports Baby just put it into context because I was answering comments from YouTube, the YouTube comments that come after the shows that we run, and he said it best when playback. We're the only Lakers channel that during the course of whether it's a post game or whether it's from wherever it's at, we had people from 3 different countries, from continents all around the world on at the same time, simultaneously sharing their thoughts on the game on playback. We've done it before also as well, of course, on the post games as well. So no one else does this that I know of on the Lakers station. So that's a credit to our audience. It's a credit to how well we have reached out, and hopefully we can continue to do that, Joe. But I thought Sports Baby, it was great to have you on playback, and I hope to have you on many more times, and just love you in the chat, man. You're awesome mod. And you do Kurt Affair proud, my friend. You do Kurt Affair proud. And Xbox, you lucky devil, you, man. Because he sent me some pictures, Joe, where he's at. Yeah, he's having a fun time right now. So that's all I'll say.
Kawhi's name should be Wheelchair. Is he on a wheelchair or just in a seat?
Well, right now he's playing, Joe.
So apparently everyone's getting their jollies off right now with Ben Simmons. He's playing well. I wonder why. That opportunistic piece of shit. He's playing well now so he can get another contract, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Well, fucking piece of shit.
He's suddenly healthy. Man. He is suddenly healthy and playing well.
And you guys want to bring in a quitter like that? Even if let's say if we had a chance at getting them before they, I don't know, man. Whatever. Fuck the Clippers. They're not going to do shit anyways. Well, folks.
Kawhi had 25 last night.
Good for him. If he plays, he's good. If he doesn't play, and that's the thing is he going to last till playoffs? Every year, the last, 3 years, he's pretty much bowed out.
Good point.
At the end.
Or in the playoffs, he'll come up lame somewhere.
Yeah. But I want to thank everyone for being here tonight for the Nightcap. Gerald, thanks for being here with me. It's always a good time when we're...
I did want to mention... No Lakerholics tomorrow morning. They are trying to work out if they could come on Sunday, but no Lakerholics tomorrow, guys, if you guys are asking. So, on a minimum, Thameless, I could do a minimum.
No Thameless, I don't want him anywhere near this team.
I could do.
Yeah. I don't want that guy anywhere near. It's not about the skills. It's about him. The second things go down south, he's going to be the guy that doesn't do anything for you. You don't want those kind of guys on the team. Joker, hold on. Joker said something before I sign off here. Joe, can you be in that new TV show called Wheelchair and Street Clothes? They the stepchildren of the union between Starsky and one of the more underrated movies is Starsky and Hutch, by the way. If you guys haven't watched it, watch it with Ben Stiller and Brooke.
What were your thoughts on that G League trade the South Bay Lakers did the other day? For Cole Swider, they gave up. I forgot who they traded, but they traded someone and a G League first-round draft pick.
I have no comment. I don't watch hardly any G League games. Once in a while, if I'm at home and it's on Sportsnet and I'm just kind of going through the channels, I'll probably watch. But I don't normally watch much South Bay Laker games. Joe, what happened? Hold on a second here. Well, Joe, what happened to Podcast P? Paul George never the same.
He's washed. And he got paid to, and now he's washed.
Paul George loves his life. You ever notice every time you see him on social media, he's got some round-assed honey on his feed, just telling everybody how he's got the good life. Paul George, man, it's amazing how that guy did a 180. I was so excited. Lakers fans were so excited when he was coming up to be a free agent. We're like, Paul George, come home, baby. Paul George, come home. And then he didn't. And I was like, what? Really? Imagine Paul George with LeBron and AD. Man, he sure pissed that away, didn't he? Could have won titles. Could have had the life. What an idiot.
You know who has the life right now? Our old friend Xbox, who's traveling right now. I won't say where he's at in Australia. I'll let him do that himself. But he is on the road, and he's got some really good sites that he's sending me pics of. So
Nice.
appreciate it, my friend.
Stay safe. Stay safe, Mark. Get back. We wanna see you on the show.
Chris, Severance,
baby.
Severance. You got Ben Stiller right there. Do it. You watch Severance. Do it. That's his creation. Well, actually, it's not his creation, but he's the executive producer on it and has directed most of the episodes. I should say that.
See Severance. I guess Warner Brothers is gonna pay you a couple bucks to promote that there, Gerald.
Oh, Apple TV Plus, actually, not Warner.
Is it Apple TV? It's not Warner Brothers.
It's the most popular show on Apple TV Plus right now.
Good deal. I have Apple TV through my phone, so maybe I might check it out when I have maybe a few minutes left in the day to do it.
It's some really good stuff. You started. It's only first season was like 8 or 9 episodes. This one's so it's only 15 episodes in to the series. Catch up.
Let's see here. Hold on. The questions keep coming. So the cap holds the Lakers have. Why don't they waive the rights to players like Dwight Howard and Carmelo Anthony? Don't those count against the cap? Yeah, that's always a weird thing to look at the salary cap and still see old names on there. Gerald, is that something? What is the reason for that? I haven't delved into the CBA enough to know about why they do that.
My guess on that is that it still counts against the cap if they do. So they've got to get those guys naturally through whatever tie-ins that they have already, when the Lakers, I guess, commit to it or basically the bird rights and all that, I guess what happens is that some of these guys like continuously, for whatever reason, they're not being paid by the Lakers, but somehow their rights still, if they waive their rights, it somehow affects some of the cap. And the Lakers as of right now, I think have like $700,000, something like that, Joe, that they can spend. Basically, they can make a commitment on one player. They can waive one of the guys off their roster and commit on one player, whether it's a buyout player or bringing up one of the two-way guys. They have one move left, Joe, that they can do. So I guess, when you see all those old names that are still there, by releasing them, maybe somehow financially it might hurt the Lakers even to a smaller amount. And if they do that, they may not be able to make that one move that they think is better suited for them.
Good deal.
Like right there, Brian, $10 million in cap holds.
Something I didn't know that I learned. That's great. We gotta, when we have more time, I guess we got to find out how we can read that 1,000-page CBA.
You have Pincus or Kuhn. I know Laker Tom loves Pincus because he always throws his name out there. He's a good one to get, or Larry Kuhn. If we get Larry Kuhn on this show, that would be
definitely need to do that. I think that would be a good move for us to learn a little.
Everybody needs to turn out if that's the case. We can't have like a light turnout for one of those guys because those guys answer all those questions because nobody knows more about the CBA and the cap than those guys.
I think we need to plan on that, Gerald. Let's maybe think about that there in the near future.
I reached out to Sliwa. I reached out to Trudell. Those guys, they can ignore us all they want. We'll just call them out every time they do. Harry. Don't look at us, Harry. We see a Dwight Howard, signed Dwight Howard comment every other day, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's every other day. Yeah. He's Dancing with the Stars. We know he's washed. He's already being he's nominated for the Hall of Fame. So get the message. He's done. Accept
your Hall of Fame inductee here in about a year, and you had a good career, Dwight, and that's all you can do now. But with that, thank you so much again, guys, for being here tonight for the Lakers Nightcap. Lakers Fast Break Nightcap, and we're gonna
hold on. 805 Fillmore's got something in there. He usually gives us these crazy questions to close out the show, like
where is
man-eating shark, or let me go ahead. maybe it's right here. Okay. Joe, Gerald, do you either smoke weed or have a weed story? I do not. The only weed
I do.
story I have, I do. Well, you first. You first. Okay.
No, go ahead. I'll finish it off.
I was with my first wife. We went to Disneyland, and we go to Utopia. And I've been to a couple parties where weeds are at, so I know it's kind of smell, but I'm not really taking it all in. Go on Autopia, and the people in front of us, let's just say they partaked in some greenery, which I now live in Las Vegas. I mean, you can go through drive-through greeneries right here now. Everybody's around the corner has one as far as a weed place here. But back then, it was like I went, this was like 93, 293. Yeah, we go and we partake on Autopia. By the end of Autopia, let's just say my first wife and I were loopy. We were spaced out, but we were also very hungry because we just were breathing that stuff in, Joe, for 10 minutes. And you know that cars go slow on Autopia. You know, and we're just like, oh, yeah, man.
I want some shrimp.
I'll take some hot dogs, nachos, hamburgers. I'm just like hungry.
That's good because Disneyland has the worst food out of any amusement park I've ever been to.
Exactly, but
So-
man, when you've been high on Autopia for 10 minutes, you just don't care.
And don't get the turkey leg there. It's very, very salty.
I've had one. They're good.
They look good, but they don't taste good.
I
Unfortunate.
I disagree, but they're expensive. They're hella expensive. They're not worth $15.
No, nothing's worth $15 when it tastes like shit. That's for sure.
Is Planet 13 popular there? It's one of many Thameless. Let's just say one of many. There is a Planet 13 here. They do have their base. They do have some stores here, but they're just one of many. I mean, everybody has their favorite that they go around. There's ones 24-hour ones. There's drive-through ones. Yeah, weed is very prevalent here in Las Vegas. I mean, I'll go down Boulder Highway here at like 5 a.m, and all you have to do is drive by the store. And you drive by, and you just in your car, you can smell it for that area in your car, Joe, that you're on. When you drive the street, there's the weed as it goes by.
So I've smoked weed 3 times in my life. The last 2 times, I did it as a celebratory gesture to my friend, same friend. One of those 2, I got paranoid driving home. I thought I was driving the wrong way. I'd driven this path thousands of times, but for some reason, after I had smoked that day, I was paranoid that I was going the wrong way. So I knew that it took effect. So one of those 2 was paranoia. The other one was normal. I didn't really nothing really happened much. The first time I ever smoked weed was an accident. It wasn't an accident. It was, I had assumed my friend wouldn't do it. And then he was so surprised at what I said that I would do it if he did it. And I ended up having to eat my words. So I said, no, if Adam does it, I'll do it. And everyone was like, what? I'm like, yeah, if Adam does, I'll do it. And I thought he wasn't going to do it. He ended up doing it because he was so wanting me to do it for the first time. I'm in college, by the way. So I ended up smoking. And I laughed so much. I mean, a lot. To the point where, I mean, I knew I was high, but I was laughing nonstop, just like they always tell you. You know, you get into the giggles or you get the munchies or whatever. So I'll tell you why I laughed so hard, though. So my buddy does this thing where he opens the front door, and again, most of the apartments in college are all small apartments. So you have this door, and then we're sitting there in the kitchen, and we're laughing and eating chips, whatever, and we're high. And he ends up doing this thing where he starts, it looks like he's vertical. And I mean, he did it so perfect. It looked like he was vertical coming in real slow. So it looked like from the way where we were standing with the door, and you see his hands kind of go like this right in front, and it looks like he's vertical flying into the house through the front door. And he gets to the point where his torso is in there, and it still looks like he's vertical, like his legs are vertical with his torso. And I was absolutely in hysterics. I mean, dying laughing like when I watched Happy Gilmore when it first came out, and that was the most fun I've had on weed. I've only done it 3 times. It's not really for me. Haven't smoked since the 3rd time with my other friend. But that's probably the best story, funny story. If you were there, it would have been much better to experience what was going on. But I thought at that time that was freaking hilarious.
By the way, I know that who was it? Oh, Thameless. 2 years ago, he wasn't good from 3-pointer as far as LeBron. Last year, obviously, he was a 42%er. So he was very good from 3-pointers consistently last year. This year, he started out hot, Joe, if you remember, from 3. Then he had, what was it, late November and December, he had a nosedive. In fact, what did we say, like 0 for what, 20 or something like that? He went into a real dry spell. But he has been much more consistent as of late, and he is just under 40% for the season, to give everybody an idea what's going on. So
LeBron has become a better shooter in his later years. I would say that's not his game, but he's done a pretty damn good job shooting. I think better than he's ever been at shooting, in my view. He didn't have to shoot as much back in the day because he could get to the rim at will.
Yeah.
I'll add you back, Mark. I'll add you back right now.
Yeah, I requested the WhatsApp chat.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, Joe, though, I think that he has become a little bit reliant on those 3-pointers. In fact, the team has. We saw in that Charlotte game, there were many opportunities they could have just taken to the basket. I think it gets away from what they're really strong suited at as far as, remember when they were leading the league consistently in free throws, Joe, over the course of season. Yeah, that's not the case now. And them chucking up 51 3-pointers a game like they did against Charlotte, I'm not sure that that's really advisable. In my opinion, I think I would probably try to shoot less, get to the basket more, and see what happens from there. I think it's just more productive for them when they just fall in love with the threes to that great amount. And I know it pisses you off as well.
We got to wait to see what Luka does here. I have to see him full throttle. Otherwise, you're never really going to get a good assessment on what this thing's going to be.
I agree.
He's got to get to as close to 200% as you can. We got to see Luka what before he injured his calf at Christmas. Then I'll be able to understand and know what's going on with this team and what they're going to be. If Luka is what he was last year during that run, but healthier, and LeBron plays the way he's playing, Austin's playing the way he's playing, and the role players can somewhat play respectable defense and have the energy to do that in a series, that this is the question we're going to ask ourselves to see how this develops. That's pretty much what it's going to be.
It's wild, yes. Current affair, yes. He did play the theme song. Hopefully I will get spiked for it, but I think it's too short. I don't think they'll get me. But great to have everyone here. We'll be on tomorrow. No Lakerholics in the morning. They're trying to work out a Sunday time if they can all get together for it. But fear not. We'll be here tomorrow night, 5 p.m. or 5. Was it 5 or 5:30? Is it 5:30?
It's 5:30.
You said 5:30. So, yeah, we'll be back 5:30 p.m. Playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Remember, I do have VIPs to give out. Although it's an ABC game, so you guys can get the feed regardless. But yeah, it's going to be good. Hopefully, Lakers will compete. Luka and LeBron both listed as probable for the game, and of course, best post game that's out there. We'll be back for it right here at the Lakers Fast Break, Joe.
We will be back. We will be here. We will talk Laker basketball like we do. Until then, have a good night. Have a good evening. Have a good morning. Until next time. We'll see you next time.